friends. Welcome to the Inside the Song segment for Winds Change. We're just going to get right into it. The song opens, "You might not know me yet. Are you still stuck on your ex? Your voice keeps playing in my head, like Sheryl Crow, but blue and red." That, well, I, the song is directed to the lead singer of a local blues rock band, local to Norfolk, Virginia. I think they're based out of Norfolk, maybe Virginia Beach. But the song is addressed to the lead singer of this blues rock band, No Agenda. And we also have not met, or not talked. So that's why I said, "You might not know me yet. Are you still stuck on your ex?" I got the impression from the first song on her EP that maybe she, like, that I was wondering, like, are you still stuck on this person? The first song on the EP was about an ex. So yeah, that's that was what I was asking. The Cheryl, your voice keeps playing in my head like Sheryl Crow, but blue and red. Her voice kind of reminded me of Sheryl Crow, um, but with more sadness and more anger. So the blue and red. Um, I can only guess at what happened with that boy. Sounds like you thought him a lover when he thought of you a toy. Um, Again, that's kind of just me recapping, sharing my perspective of the situation that she shared in the first song. Is it Lover? Is Lover might be the first one on the EP. Anyways, "I'll try not to lie. If I do, it's to myself. When I feel afraid to face the truth or ask someone for help." So I wrote this before I found out that she has a partner. And this was sort of me, like, marketing myself as, like, hey, I'm boyfriend material. I'll try not to lie. But, I might to myself if I'm feeling afraid of the truth, or insecure. I do my best not to lie either way, but in the past, those have been reasons why I have lied. So, "I'm a friend to solitude. It found me in most groups, and shadows used to swallow me before I learned to love them too." One of her songs mentions something about solitude. I forget what the actual line is. I think it was something about like not having a choice or not choosing solitude. Um, and I was making the point that, yeah, like, I didn't choose solitude, but it just found me in groups, even when I was hanging out with other people, even when I felt like part of a group, I still felt alone at times. And eventually, I learned to befriend the solitude and appreciate my alone time. But before that, shadows used to swallow me. Um, like, my insecurities and my darkness used to feel very overwhelming, and they used to feel like things that I couldn't overcome myself. Um, and that was before I learned to love them and accept them. Here I'm using love to mean, like, accept as is and truly appreciate. Um, and that really seems to have been the key for me overcoming a lot of insecurities, is just learning insecurities and also overcoming aspects of my personality or aspects of, um, behaviors that I maybe don't or didn't or haven't felt proud of. Um, it's been helpful for me to practice radical self-acceptance and recognize why I might have engaged in certain unhelpful or even harmful behaviors. Because a lot of the time, they're, everything happens for a reason. Um, we might not know the reason, but there's a reason, presumably, for everything. Um, and yeah, I found that understanding understanding more of the context surrounding my shadows helped me to love them or learn to love them. Um, then maybe I'm the distraction you think you might need. Again, I still didn't realize that this person I'm singing to has a partner. So maybe I'm not the distraction you think you need. But she did mention there. I wrote the part about thinking she might need a distraction for a reason. So I think she might have mentioned something about like wanting a distraction or needing a distraction. Um, and You're the Eye of a Storm in a recent memory. I referenced this in the behind the song section or the behind the song segment for this song, which if you haven't watched, I'll link below somewhere here if I remember to do so. Um, but that was referencing me seeing this band, seeing her performing live, and in one song there was so much chaos and commotion from the band. Like the music felt very chaotic and energetic, like a storm. But watching the singer, she seemed very calm and grounded. And watching her felt like I was watching the eye of a storm. So that's what that line comes from. What if the blues don't follow you? Maybe they won't go. Um, I got the sense from some of the songs that this person um, might be struggling to look past some of the less than preferable aspects of a situation. That came out weird, but I got the blue. That I got the sense that the song is about, feels like, or from the songs felt like it's inevitable that they're going to feel bad, that they're going to continue to feel bad because they've been feeling bad. And I used to feel that way. I used to think that just because things had felt shitty, that things would remain shitty. But then I eventually learned that things felt shitty because I was choosing to fixate on the shitty aspects of a situation. Um, so yeah, maybe the shittiness won't go. But what if looking for the gold leads you to the rainbow? Um, I've found that in looking for the lessons and looking for the growth opportunities, even in situations where things might feel shitty, um, what has felt really empowering has been focusing only on the things that I can control. And in most situations, I find that I'm really only in control of my own response to external circumstances. Like, I don't really control what happens at all in the outside world. I can control my actions. I can control the way I respond to things that happen. But control in most cases is an illusion. And when we forget that, we set ourselves up for despair when inevitably something goes awry. Um, Keep on laying track, and I hope you'll take your time. Medicine is all around. In stillness I still find. The the only way is forward. Um, if you there was a mention of like, actually I think she said I think the line from one of their songs is like, laying track is the only way to go, or something like that along those lines. And so I was just kind of referencing that. Um, but something I found is that it is important to keep moving forward, but sometimes it's not important to keep looking forward. Sometimes it's important to look inward and just be present, or maybe not look anywhere in particular. Just let happenings appear in consciousness in the present moment. And it really does seem that in moments of stillness, where I allow myself to be still, where I don't make myself keep moving any certain way. I just allow myself to be. I've found a lot of healing in those moments. Some things stay the same or seem to long enough to lead us to the lesson that change is up to us. Some things I mean, nothing stays the same, period. Everything changes. Everything is always changing. Um, and some things stay the same or seem too long enough to lead us to the lesson that to change is up to us. Right, yeah. So I was thinking, like, for a second, I was like, how do I explain this? It doesn't make sense. But it does make sense. I think it's somewhat self-explanatory, but I mean, it feels somewhat self-explanatory to me. I don't know if everyone would if that would come through clearly to everyone, but the point that I was trying to make, I think, is that, like, even if something seems the same, it's not going to be that way forever. If like a situation stays the same or seems to stay the same, just know it's not going to be that way forever. But if it's been seeming like it's been the same way for a long time, then do something about it. Change it. Like, change is up to us. We can choose to embrace change. Um, and then I go through it's another, maybe I'm the distraction you think you might need. Yada, yada, yada. And at the end, the last couple stanzas, um, go, either way, choose or not, we never stay the same. That's seems true to me. Um, Either way, choose or not, we never stay the same. We can choose to loosen up or stiffen till we break. Whether you like it or not, you're not going to stay the same. You're going to be shaped and influenced by your experiences. And so you can choose to loosen up. You can choose to grow young, as Tom Petty said, or you can grow cold, also as Tom Petty said, and stiffen until you break. Um, you might be able to think of some people who have, in your life, who have chosen differently. The last stanza is, so keep on playing blues if you really feel that way. Though I wonder if the music is the chicken or the egg. I believe it's important to express how we feel. I also think at a point we it's possible to convince ourselves that we feel a certain way because we've gotten so used to telling ourselves that we feel a certain way, or we've gotten into the routine of feeling a certain way. Um, so yeah, sometimes I wonder whether the um, I mean it's like the which came first, the chicken or the egg? It's like which came first, the depression or the depressing music? Like, are you listening to depressing music or playing depressing music because you're depressed? Maybe. That's probably the case for plenty of people. But do you think it's possible that playing and listening to depressing music is actually keeping you, or like leading you to be depressed or keeping you depressed? I think that's possible. I think that's been the case for me in the past. I used to really mope and wallow in pain, and I think it's I think that is helpful to a point. I think it's important to feel our feelings fully, but what I used to do, listening to sad playlists when I felt sad, like it was a distraction. It wasn't actually, that's not, I wasn't feeling my feelings. I was just exacerbating them so that I could, like, I was just drowning myself in them, but I wasn't really feeling them. I was just, like, going, I don't know, I guess just being dramatic. Um, or, like, selling the drama. That's a live album, the band live. Anyways, that's I think I've made some valid points here, um, or maybe not. I don't know what your perspective is, but thank you for being here now. Thank you for listening and watching. Please check out some of my other videos. Check out my website, please. I'm planning a tour right now. Please join my mailing list to keep up with updates about that. And I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Yeah. Be well. Peace and love.